Okay, recorded has started. So, good evening, good morning, everyone. This is the agenda we're going to cover in this conversation. First of all, we have some slides for you to understand what LoPeS Performance Solutions is, who we are. Then we will go briefly through our portfolio of solutions. And most importantly, we will talk about our association model. And finally, we're going to have time for questions and answers. So who we are. This is a global consultancy company that we founded toward the end of 2021. And the differentiation of this consultancy is that we study behavior science and industrial psychology, and we apply this knowledge in a practical way. As you will see, the LoPeS team is quite experienced, especially in the oil and gas industry. And this experience is very good, but good enough, not good enough. So we are complementing that with knowledge, with scientific knowledge. We are going to the academia and learning the scientific principles that explain why human beings behave the way they do. And then we also formulate practical solutions so our customers see tangible results in what we do. We will talk about our differentiation later, but when we talk about LoPeS, we want our customers, our associates, our suppliers to think that this is a consultancy company standing at the intersection between science and practicum. We are a member, an active member of the Human Performance and Oil and Gas Association, which is an effort to share best practices with regards to human performance in the oil and gas industry. Moving on, this is who we are so far. There are a couple of names missing there, but basically we execute our contracts through projects. So we use PMI, the recommendations and the methodology of the Project Management Institute to execute our projects. And you see the faces of the ones who have trusted the project, our company so far. You will see some faces that are familiar to you. And what I want to say is that we will continue to grow as friends, as a family that is aiming to make a difference and to leave a legacy in the industry, not only in the oil and gas industry, but in general, with regards to human performance. So thank you to all the ones who have believed in our approach to consultancy. These are our core values. First of all, we really truly concentrate on what the customer needs. All of our conversations with the customers have this question on where is the pain? What can we do to help you, right? And then we act with integrity. We are a socially responsible organization. We foster diversity and we love innovation. As you will see, some of our solutions are or can be framed into the quality and HSE management systems. But I hope you will notice that our approach is quite advanced and mature compared with the typical average HSE program. So this is where innovation comes into the game. This is our vision, 25 by 25. I wanted to show you our mission. We develop disruptive solutions to improve human performance in the industry and the society. Our solutions are effective, flexible, sustainable, but above all, and most importantly, humanized. We put the human being at the core of our solutions. What is our vision? So we are a consultancy company with global outreach, and our humanized approach is an industry benchmark. We are starting to see signals in the market of customers talking about other customers and getting new projects through the word of mouth of customers who are highly satisfied. So by 2025, 25 organizations will improve their performance in alliance with LoPeS. That's our vision. By the year 2025, we will have 25 customers who are trusting us and are giving us long-term contracts. So you will notice that we are not aiming here to become a company with 100 customers. That will happen in the future. But in the short term, we want to concentrate on a few customers and show them the value of what we do, create a reputation of excellence, so the future growth of the company is based on the satisfaction of the existing customers, who, by the way, will continue working with us. That's the vision. I hope you like it. We are a socially responsible organization. We have 3 pillars that we define from day number 1. First of all, we are honest, we are transparent, and we are fair in the way we deal with our customers, with our associates, with our suppliers, and with the society. Secondly, we are carbon neutral. So every year we measure the amount of CO2 emissions we produce, and then we compensate these emissions through a reputable NGO in Colombia called the Banco Dos, which is a very interesting project, a non-profit. What these guys do, they go to areas of high violence in the country, and they convince countryside people to stop cutting the trees and start looking after the trees, and they pay them to preserve and protect the rainforest, the Colombian rainforest, and by doing that, they sell us certificates for us to compensate our emissions. So that's a promise that we made from the beginning, and that we have honored the 2 years of operations that we have so far. And the third one, which is also something I am in love with, is the Utopia project that Universidad de La Salle in Colombia has. What they do, they go to the most violent areas in the country, and they select students and give them scholarships, 4 years scholarships. So the students go to a campus they have built in Yopal, Colombia, and these students become engineers, agriculture, and I think it's agriculture engineering, the faculty that is there. And these guys not only learn the technical side of how to produce agricultural products and all of this, but as important as that, they become good leaders in their areas of origin. So it's a beautiful project. It won the Leaders Award in Colombia like 5 years ago. And we sponsor one student. The productive project of the student has to do, each student has to do a productive project in her or his area of origin at the end of the career. And they need money to formulate and execute the project. So what we do is we sponsor one of these productive projects per student so they can graduate. That's basically what we do. So far, we have sponsored 6 of these guys, and it's really a moving thing every time we talk to them. So This week, I have received the confirmation that LoPeS Performance Solutions is entitled and will receive the B Corporate certification, which is an auditing process from a reputable organization that is going to certify that we are a decent company when it comes to the respect to the environment and the contribution to the society. Who we are. So there are four elements that differentiate our value proposition in the market. The first one, and I already mentioned that, is that we put people at the heart of our solutions. We really do that, right? The second one is that we transfer the knowledge to our customers. And some people will say, but you are losing your competitive advantage because you are telling the customer your secrets. Well, we are convinced that a satisfied customer will continue to work with us, and a satisfied customer will go and talk to other potential customers, and will talk highly about us. And that's exactly what is happening, right? So we are not afraid of transferring the knowledge to our customers. In fact, we have in this call one of our customers in the Middle East who is going to be part of the cohort number 4, because we trust and we believe that this is the way to go. It's a good differentiator when we go and we transfer the knowledge to our customers, so they learn how to incorporate our solutions into their management system. So that makes our solutions sustainable in their management system. The next one is flexibility. So we are like the bamboo. We really adapt our solutions to our customers. If you talk to our customers, they will give you a testimony of how we look at what they have and adapt our program to what the pains are, what they need, and that's also very important. And last not least, we like the commercial model in which we get paid because of our results. So the risk reward commercial model is the one we prefer. Having said that, we entertain any commercial model, and so far we haven't been able to land any contract under a risk reward model, more because of customers not willing to do that than us not ready to put skin in the game and demonstrate that we can take risk on our results. That's a demonstration that we are certain about our ability to deliver our value proposition. So this is who we are. Now let's move on to what markets are we targeting, right? So basically, we are convinced in that our value proposition applies to any industry, because at least in high-risk industries such as nuclear, chemical, aviation, oil and gas, in high-risk industries, the human factor is today the main area for improvement when it comes to the company performance. And that's applicable to many other industries, right? So we are not limiting ourselves to any specific industry, but as you will see when I show you, our customers, that obviously because of my background and the background of our associates, we're mainly in the oil and gas today. But we have a contract, we have conducted a contract outside the oil and gas industry with Unilever, and that's something that we are targeting in our strategy plan for the years to come. I don't want to go into 20 different industries, right? I think we have to make a dent in the industries we know, and being in 2 or 3 industries within the next 3 years is going to be more than enough. And the oil and gas industry will be and will continue to be our stronghold. That's the way we foresee it. And geographically, we started in Latin America, and now we are working in the Middle East. These are the 2 areas that we are targeting today: Latin America and the Middle East mainly. And that's why you will see that a lot of people attending this call are coming from the Middle East, because we do forecast a big growth in this area. This is a summary of what have we done in terms of the business for the last 2 years. So you see that in terms of revenue, in 2022, we will finish with almost 4 times the revenue that we made in 2021, which is a good pace of growth. Our strategy plan states that we have to double this revenue in Latin America and in the Middle East in 2023. The net margins also improved significantly. Last year in 2021, we finished, I think, at 4% net. And this year we're going to finish in about 27% or something like that. And that's pretty much what we are targeting, right? What I have to highlight is that this net is not going to be touched in any way other than developing talent and developing technology. So all the net we are making is going to be reinvested in the company, and this reinversion is associated with developing knowledge of our associates. That's one. So we can continue to innovate and continue to be differentiated in the market. And the second one is technology. So things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, you name it. That's what we are, right? So we're exploring these areas, and that's what the net is going to be used for. And the other one is on the number of projects. Last year, we conducted like 5 projects or something like that. This year, we are going to finish with 7 projects, kind of long-term projects. Out of these 7 projects, 3 are going to continue in 2020. No, 4 projects will continue in 2023. And the idea is to end up 2023 with between 12 to 15 projects. So we can, walk toward our 25 by 25 vision. On the bottom side of the graphic, you see the customers we have worked for and the customers we are working for today, right? So I hope you see that there is a healthy pace of growth. Small companies in the world die within the first 2 years of operation. Like 70% of small companies or startups die before the second year. That's not going to be our case. We will continue to grow. Okay, moving on into our portfolio. If you go to our webpage, you will see a little bit of more detail, and there are also papers, SPE papers that support this portfolio. So you can go a little bit deeper if you want, or you can contact us and we can have a conversation on the details of the portfolio. But today, for the sake of time control, I'm going to fly through the portfolio. I'm going to tell you pretty much what is the deliverable of each of the solutions we have. And then if you have any specific question at the end of the conversation, please feel free to do that or contact us later on, okay? So the first one is on leadership. We call it Leading with Purpose. That has been inspired by Professor Simon Sinek. And basically, the deliverable of this is a leader that understands that working for her team is more effective than expecting her team to work for her. So it's a slight change in the wording, but it's not a minor change in the mindset of the leader. How we do that? We coach them. We have 5 coaching sessions, individual and confidential, with each of the leaders. And in these sessions, what we do is, first of all, understand what are the behaviors of an ideal leader for this particular employee. Once the employee kind of looks at what what it takes to be an excellent leader based on her or his own experience in life, then we ask this person to compare this ideal leader with his own or her own characteristics. And these characteristics are coming from a survey that we apply before the coaching sessions. So we have a baseline. We do the 5 coaching sessions so the person identifies behaviors that she wants to adopt and adapt to her personal style. We don't change, personal styles or whatever. We just ask them to identify behaviors they want to adopt until they become habits. And then after we finish the coaching sessions, we apply the survey again. So we have a before and an after, a baseline, and a measurement of the leadership style of the individual after the coaching program is finished. So we have statistically meaningful data to demonstrate the return on investment to the customer, because we go and explain the customer as a group what was the result, what was the impact of the program in terms of statistically meaningful data. That's a very important element in our solutions. So that's the leading with purpose. And I have to say that this program is very, very, very key in preparing the organization to absorb the other solutions we sell, because obviously all of these solutions depend a lot on whether top management is supporting or not. So that's a way to create a sensibilization of the management team and get them to support the other solutions that we are implementing in parallel in the organization. The engineering human performance solution is very effective. That's something I started in my times with the Schlumberger, and it has been transformed with the help of our associates. And it's a way to obtain operational discipline by employees' conviction rather by imposition from management, right? So we first identify a few processes that are causing most of the loss in the organization. And when I say loss, it's not just HSE, it's also service quality. So for example, the longest project we have so far is a project with a rigs company in Colombia. We're gonna go through the 3rd year of operation with them in 2023. And what we have selected is the operations at the rig floor, the rig up, rig down, and the mechanical lifting activities as the 3 processes that we wanted to target. And why? Is because these 3 processes all together account for like 70% of the losses in this organization, accounted for at the beginning of the project in 2022. No, in 2021, I have to say, yeah, because this is the 2nd year of operation, and we're going to go through the 3rd one. And what we do with this engineering human performance methodology is to work with the ones who execute these critical processes that are causing most of the losses and fix these processes. Make sure that people adhere to the critical behaviors that control the process. And by doing that, we improve the control in the process and we reduce the losses. The methodology includes measuring the adherence to critical behaviors from a centralized virtual center that we created called the Behavior Empowerment Center that receives these observations, verifies statistical validity of the data, do the trend analysis, and create reports that go back to the operation so people know in terms of procedural adherence, they know where they are versus the expectation. And when you tell a human being where she is versus the expectation, the natural reaction is to improve. So based on that principle, we have obtained fantastic results in the application of the engineering human performance methodology. is one of our is one of our flags in the organization. The next one is something that we created this year, and we are starting to apply in 4 different organizations, and it's the permanent attention competency program. So, we have research that shows that in the high risk industries, like 70 to 85% of the incidents are associated with people not identifying the change, not assessing the risk properly, and not anticipating what is going to happen next. And that is called situational awareness. So we look at the industry, and obviously the aviation industry is the most advanced on this particular type of competencies. So we adapted the CRM concepts from the aviation industry, and we created this solution that what it does is provide competencies to employees in terms of situational awareness. And yet again, this is also a demonstration of we transferring the knowledge to our customers. So typically what we do is we train trainers in the customer's organization. So instead of sending an army of consultants to the customer organization, we train them so they can cascade down the knowledge throughout the organization, and the whole company improves the levels of situational awareness to reduce incidents in HSE and service quality. So it's a very disruptive approach, and yet again I have to emphasize in that we measure the competency of the employees before and after the training process. And by doing that, we are able to demonstrate to our customers the impact and the return on investment when it comes to delivering the value proposition, which is in this case, the competencies associated with situational awareness. So we do apply a methodology that is coming from the aviation industry, and was developed by Professor Mika Ensley, called the Situational Awareness General Assessment Tool. It's a scientifically proven methodology that we have adapted so far for the oil and gas industry. It's very specific to the oil and gas industry. And what it does is we measure before, we measure after, so we have statistically meaningful data to demonstrate the effectiveness of the program. Then the next one is human factors in risk management. And what we do there is we use our extensive experience in specific risks, such as driving a car or lifting a load, or corporate risk as well. And we incorporate, or investigation of incidents, for example, that's another example. And what we do is we incorporate the human factors in the way the company manages the risk. So in terms of driving, for example, we have this experience creating the Schlumberger Global Journey Management Center. And for the ones who know that project, we put the drivers at the heart of that process. And by doing that, and by looking after these drivers, 5% the rate of fatalities, and in 40% the rate of incidents. And that's Schlumberger globally. And that particular project won the Schlumberger CEO award. And that's an example of how we instigate this concept of I look after you, you look after me in the different organizations. So that's human factors in risk management. The other one is corporate risk management, or corporate crisis management. I'm sorry. And we call it get out of the amygdala hijack. So, when you are in the middle of a crisis, it will, hit your brain, and the brain will go into the frozen state. And if you don't go out of this frozen state, then your decisions are not very good. That's a basic industrial psychology principle that we use there. So we teach the crisis management team how to go through a methodology that we also adopted and adapted from the aviation industry. The name of the methodology is DODAR, D for diagnose, O for options, D for decision, A for action, R for review. So it's a cycle, it's a loop in which we put the crisis management teams to practice this cycle, and by doing that, they systematically can take better decisions during the crisis, so they don't react in an instinctive mode, but they take decisions in a much more logical way. So that's what we do with the crisis management tool. And this is the one that we haven't used. I created this one along with the team in Schlumberger Latin America, but it's something that we need to explore at a certain point in time. And it's basically return on social investment. So you know that in the oil and gas, a lot of companies have thrown a lot of money into the communities without real return on investment. So we created this methodology to make sure that every dollar that is invested on social responsibility comes back in a form of a social benefit and money. So in Schlumberger, what we did, we started to sponsor social businesses that will impact the community in a positive way, but at the same time are sustainable in terms of the financial results. And that is a model that is there. We have shown it to a couple of customers, but in all honesty, we haven't executed this particular solution with LoPeS so far. And last not least is the humanization of the management system. So depending upon what the customer wants, we can walk in the organization and use one or more of these solutions that I have shown you in order to improve the human performance of the organization. So it's a holistic view of the subject matter, and it's very flexible because we simply use those solutions that really apply and will benefit the customer. That's it from the portfolio perspective. I will move on to the association model, which I think is going to be interesting for you. It's very simple. We execute our contracts as projects, and this is a typical organizational structure of any of our projects. So you see there the LoPeS personnel, the LoPeS positions in dark blue, basically I'm the director, and we appoint project managers for each of the customers. These project managers have to go through this academia, through this process of understanding our solutions in detail. And all the projects are supported by the Behavior Empowerment Center, which I say before is a data management and feedback loop instrument that we use with a proper digital solution. We have invested on that in order to capture the data, do the trend analysis, and provide soon and certain feedback to the frontline employees and to management. So that's the organizational structure. From the customer side, we always have a sponsor, but we ask by contract the customer to put a focal point, and that's very critical. That's very important, because then the project manager has a person to deal with, so the knowledge transfer happens thoroughly, right? Now, there are three types of association with LoPeS. The first one is, say that you have a customer and you think that LoPeS can benefit that customer. So you call us, we go together, we sell the contract to the customer, and we agree on how much you get, how much LoPeS gets for you to open the door of the customer. That's one model. You know, with your network, with your knowledge of the market, you ask a customer to open the door, we go together, we sell, and you get a benefit, a financial benefit out of it. That's one model. The second model is that you become a project manager, and we're going to discuss how for you to become a project manager in a minute. But the third model is you open the door of the customer, a customer you know, and you become the project manager. We are about to sign a contract, I hope, within the next couple of weeks, in which this model is being used. One of our associates knows a customer, he opens the door there, we land the contract, and he is going to execute the contract. So that's the third model. So first, you bring a customer, we go and sell together, you get a benefit from the financial perspective as a percentage of the total value, of the total contract value. The second one is you become a project manager, so you get a compensation out of that. Or the third one is you bring the customer and you execute as a project manager. I hope it's clear enough, but we're going to have time for you to ask questions. So the project manager is really the focal point of LoPeS, is the face of LoPeS in front of the customer. We have an open book philosophy. So you know the contract by heart and you execute the contract, and you own the P&L basically. And then the compensation is fair and transparent. We just incorporated the concept of bonus for performance, and there is commission for sell-ups, and there is commission for new clients or projects, as I mentioned before. So what is in there for you? Transparent compensation model. You have a lot of autonomy. You can ask the project managers, who, by the way, most of them are connected to this call. There is an intention of growth and mastery in the company. In the future, we want to implement the model of the program manager. So in each area, when we reach certain level of activity, we can have program managers who will manage the project managers. So that's a way to grow. But also, as I mentioned before, the net profit of the company is going to be reinvested in you and in technology. These are the two areas in which we will spend this money. And purpose. Purpose has two components here. One is we truly believe that our solutions can make a difference in the industry and in the society for good. So that's one area in which we believe we can make a difference and leave a legacy. And the second one is, as you mentioned, this is a socially responsible organization, and I invite you to join, knowing that you will feel proud of belonging to an organization that behaves the way we do as members of the community, as members of the society. So the academy, and that's important for you to know. We have run 3 cohorts so far. All of our project managers come from that, from these cohorts. And in a nutshell, what it takes. So basically it's 7 sessions, Saturdays mornings, which is Saturday morning Latin America time, which is going to be early afternoon in the Middle East. And these sessions last 4 hours each. What we do in these 7 sessions, we look at the portfolio in detail. We discuss, we practice the portfolio, and we build together, the knowledge. That's basically what we do in these 7 sessions. We have 12 slots for this cohort 4. I am willing to have a combination between people from Latin America and the Middle East, because this is where our strongholds are, and this is where we are growing. And but if you are not in any of these 2 geographical areas, you can still apply, because in some of these projects we have a rotational scheme, so you could fly in, fly out, and that's an option as well. And you're going to have 6 facilitators. So most of our project managers voluntarily will come in and explain you how the projects are being executed, and give you the opportunity to ask practical questions on how this works, and more importantly, how we guarantee that our value proposition is delivered. This is the agenda. We're going to start on January the 21st, and every week we're going to run one of these sessions all the way to March the 4th, to complete the 7 sessions. I'm not going to go into the details of the content, but you can see there that all the portfolio is being covered. And since this is not a class, is a workshop, you are going to be exposed to the knowledge, and we use andragogy to structure these sessions. So there is a lot of interaction. We do breakout rooms and etc. So that's important for you to know that it's going to be very enjoyable. At least it is for me, and that's the feedback I have received from the 3 cohorts that we have done so far. So what are the commitments? And this is the second last slide. From LoPeS, you will see that we deliver the academy free of charge. Some people ask, if we charge for this. No, that's a way to kind of show you our philosophy of work, our portfolio in detail, and for you to fall in love with what we are doing. And then we will continue our growth pace with our 25 by 25 vision. So you join their list, right? And as I said, all the people who are working with LoPeS have gone through the academia. So that's a value, a promise that we make, that you will be in the list if you complete the academy. In your side, you will need to confirm that you want to be in the first cohort by December the 31st. A lot of you, I think 13 of you, have already filled out the form. For the ones who didn't, please fill out the form. You will see in a minute the link. If you don't have the link, I can send it by email after the conversation is finished. But the 12 candidates, the 12 delegates that we will select will come out of the ones who have filled out the form, because we want to be transparent, we want to be fair, right? If you're selected, your commitment is to sign the non-disclosure agreement, because obviously we have to defend our intellectual property. So you will need to sign a non-disclosure agreement. You have to complete the course, and I have to be very clear. If you decide to join, you will need to attend the 7 classes, no exception. If you cannot attend one of the classes, you will not be certified. You will not be entitled to be part of LoPeS Associates. And then contribute with your ideas and passion, right? Nothing is written in stone. We want your ideas. We like your ideas. We listen to you. So we build this collectively. So it's a collective construction, what we are doing here. That's about it. So this is the enrollment form. You can take a picture of this. I have sent it through the invitation as well. But if you want, I will definitely send it after we finish, so you can complete the form. If you have already done it, don't worry, you are already in the list. But if you decide not to be a candidate, let us know, please, because as you can see, there's a limited amount of slots. If you have questions, you can drop them to Monica in the marketing@lopesolutions.com email, and please send your CV also if you haven't done that yet. Okay, so as planned, we have 15 minutes to entertain your questions and try to give you suitable answers. The line is open. Please identify yourself and let us know what your question is. Thank you very much. Any question?
Right. Hello, Juan. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you well. Who is this?
Yeah, this is Amr, and I actually want to thank you for this presentation. And I would love to know more about the edge of LoPeS. What's the number one thing that people like about your solutions?
It's a great question. Any of the project managers want to jump in, or do you want me to answer? Walter, Gabriel, Wilson.
Yo, I can answer if you want, Juan Carlos. So a lot of the customers that we work with have very structured HSE management systems, and they have done probably everything under the sun to try to improve their performance in safety, their performance in quality. Um, but it comes to a point that the conventional approach does not work, does not bring you to the next level. And I've been working now 2 years on the first human performance engineering project from LoPeS. And it is disruptive because we will tell the client what is not working. And we will tell them why their approach with people is not helping. And we will work with the people to help them see how they can do things better, faster, safer, more efficiently. And so we get in bed with the client. We give them something that no one else is doing. It is really disrupting. So there is other coaching companies that do, 360 evaluations and they do coaching, but there is no company measuring the impact of that coaching in the performance of the person. Like uh, DuPont, the stop program from DuPont is very famous, right? And and they come and they help companies change their complete HSE system and reporting and so on. But they miss the human part of HSE performance. You can't get HSE performance, you can't get quality performance if your people are not engaged. And that's what we do differently. So I have today 21 rigs on this project, workover rigs, working in difficult conditions in Colombia, remote areas. And I talk to evidently the HSE management team. I talk to the rig superintendents, but I also talk to the rig manager and the tool pusher and the HSE guy that is on site. So there is a lot of personal engagement, and you can see through the time, because we measure it, how behavior changes to promote adherence to procedures. So clients like it, and this particular client is now at the stage that they have run a pilot project with 5 rigs in 2021. They have expanded the initiative to 21 rigs in 5 different geographic areas in Colombia. And now they're starting to adapt their management system to incorporate the methodologies of engineering human performance.
Thank you, Walter. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
in Amar, it's a very good question, and yes, in summary, one thing they like is that they see data, so they can measure the impact. In a lot of programs I have seen in my career, we do a lot of things and we invest a lot of money, but we don't really see what is the impact. So the use of the statistical models is one differentiator, definitely, and they like it. And the other thing is what Walter is saying, is the involvement of the frontline people, right? Is really truly working with the people who are solving the problems in the field, right? Because they are the ones who know. So formulating programs in an AC equipped office is not very effective in my view. So working with people in the front line is the way to go, and that's what we do. So these are the two main areas that I think customers like. This thing of we demonstrate that there is return on investment, with numbers, with statistically meaningful models, and we evolve the front line really truly. So thank you for the question. Very good. Anyone else?
Thank you, Juan.
Yes, Amar. I hope you apply.
Yes, yes, I'm interested. Thank you.
I see Haas. Do you want to raise a question?
Yep.
Good.
Hello, hello. Yep. I'm here.
Yep. Good to see
Hi,
you.
hi. Yeah, nice to see you. I'm more than happy to see you again, to hear you again, and to be here again. So thank you very much for inviting me. Yes, I have a question. It's more about the area because you were talking about Middle East and Latin America, but I'm here in the North Sea. Sometimes we think that this is the most maybe the best area, and they have very good procedures, very good um, projects, or I don't know. It's like the best zone to talk about oil industry. But I really don't know. I have now the opportunity to be in the industry. I'm just maybe learning about them. So I'm wondering if you know that, or if we have I mean, a good market here. I don't know.
Yeah, Haas, it's very good to see you and thank you for the question. So, the big ones, right? The Exxon, because you are in Norway, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the big ones, the Shells, the Exxons, the Total, these guys, um, that's a future target. And I was part of the Human Factors Subcommittee of IOGP for 10 years, representing Schlumberger. And I know all of these guys. So, and all of these companies are investing a hell of money in human factors. They have their own departments, they have hired psychologists and all of this. In my view, my humble opinion, a lot of these approaches are very theoretical, not practical, because they lack this experience that we have hands-on in the rig, in the facility, we do have a lot of experience in LoPeS in terms of field experience, right? So my plan is to, at certain point in time, we will get there. We're very close to, we are in the finals of a tender with Ecopetrol, for example, in Colombia. And if we get there, that's a big one, at least in Latin America. And as far as the big ones in Europe, that's gonna come when we start showing in the conferences, for example, our results. That's gonna come. So we will be in ADIPEC next year. We were there last year. We will be with the SPE HSE Global Conference in 2024. I'm gonna be part of the executive committee. And slowly but firmly, our name is going to be raised there, and I'm sure we're gonna get there sooner than later. Now, the other thing that I want you to know, since you are in Norway, is that one of our project managers fly into the Middle East from Norway. So he is rotating from Norway. And there is another future project manager who is also sitting in Norway and working with one of the companies there in Norway. So that's another option you have, right? If you are willing to rotate, that is kind of a shorter term option for you. But for the big operators, that's going to come with time when they see that we give the results we do. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Has. Any other one? I think we have time for a couple of other questions.
Hey, Juan, it's Arturo. How are you doing? Thank you very much for your time and the presentation. I really enjoyed it. Hey, look, I'm trying to find the link in the invite that you sent, but I couldn't see it. I don't know if you can post it in the chat so we can click on it.
A link to what, Arturo?
For the application.
The form. I'll send it in a separate email, in a dedicated email immediately after we finish today.
All right, thank you.
Any other? That was an easy one. Ricardo, tu línea está cerrada.
Yeah, I think it's open now, right?
Yep. Good to see you.
Fine. Hello, all. How are you? Listen, Juan Carlos, what are you looking for in your PMs, in your project managers? I mean, I'm sure for the names I've seen that you have a variety of experiences, but what are you looking for specifically? And do we require to have a PM or a PMI certification?
It's a very good question. As part of the prerequisites, if you are not a PMI, I will send you a link to a set of courses the Project Management Institute offers. I think it's for free or it's $20 or something like that. So if you are not familiar with the language, because we are all, if you see the audience in the call, we all manage projects, right? So what the PMI does is a common language to LoPeS and our customers, and we manage the projects using the processes recommended by PMI, and we put them in a platform, in a digital platform. So there is visibility to me of the multiple projects anytime. It's a very efficient way to share results and documents with the customers. We give access to this digital platform to the customers. And to answer your specific question, no, you don't need to be a PMI certified project manager, but you need to know about that. So we will touch on that in the academia, but on top of that, one of the prerequisites before January the 21st is for you to go through these trainings. I think it's 7 modules. Each one lasts like 15 minutes, and then you have a test for you to at least be familiar with the language, right? The language the PMI uses. So we have a kind of a standard way of talking about project management. And in terms of the profile, you can see the people in the call, right? We want experienced people. There is a heavy component on oil and gas. And most importantly, we want people to have a passion for people, right? Because, this is not for everyone. You really need to like interacting with people. And, as a consultant, the only power you have is influencing others. There's no more power than that, right? So we really need people who have a passion for people and are able to influence others and enjoy that role. Again, Ricardo, we don't send an army of consultants to the customers. We transfer the knowledge, and that requires a lot of interaction with the customer, a lot of coordination inside the customer's organizations, and that's challenging, right? And it's sometimes frustrating. So that's that's the name of the game. I think we have time for another question, and then we close. Any other? Okay, so let's stop here.
Question here.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Amr.
Amr, again. Good.
Yeah. Since we're not having a lot of questions here, so my question is, the word academia is a good word for mature people and intellectuals, I like the word academia. So how do people perceive the word if you're speaking with people who are youngsters with ADHD and stuff? How do you sell the word academia to those people? Because I know that mature people will be buying in the message and the science and the neuroscience and stuff. But what about the ADHD guys?
They know better than us, Amr. They know better than us. So there are some youngsters in the call, and they can tell you, right? But it's very well received because we picked up the name in order to convey the fact that this is not gossip. You know, this is not just people talking about things just based on empirical knowledge. This is science-based. All of our solutions, and if you go to our webpage, you will see the papers there. All of our solutions are backed up by research, by solid research, and that's why we selected the name. And I like that you picked up that comment and that you are part of the Johnsters, so you can tell us what you think. But basically, the idea is to convey a message of rigor in terms of the scientific principles we use. Okay.
Excellent. Thanks, Juan.
Okay, guys. So thank you very much. I'm gonna stop the recording right now, and I really